Rock, what's going on? Hello, everybody. It's Dogs and Charts. No, Trading Trends. I was looking forward to this show. I always like doing this is specifically, the end of the first half. So not only the end of the month, end of the quarter, it's the whole end of the whole shebang of the first half. I was looking forward to this. You can really draw a lot of good themes that have legs here. These are ideas that have been persisting since not just last week, last month, last quarter. This has been persisting basically since around Christmas week. It's been brewing, and for many cases of that, even longer. So these have legs, these ideas. So we're going to do a little bit something different today. We're going to recap, obviously, the day in the week, but I'm going to make a focus on things that have worked since New Year's Day, since you were hungover from your, New Year's Eve through today when you're getting ready to go to the beach. All right. And I actually just got back from the beach. That's the great thing about technicals. You can just hop right in and you get tuned in to see what you missed. So yeah, I am a little darker than usual. Make your joke. Okay, so today I have a full recap here of everything. All right, so today we'll look at, I don't know if you caught that insane fest yesterday between two 80-year-olds. And people were, fearful because obviously a lot of the futures moved, and also like predicted markets of who would get elected in November. Obviously, Biden tanked and Trump's chances ripped, and there was also a little bit of upside surprise from like Newsom and new people like that. And people were wondering what would happen with the SPY futures. It actually ran up last night to new all-time highs. It continued this morning, and then we reversed. We'll look at the intraday chart in a little bit. But today, at the end of the day, what happened? So solar, what was under focus was solar, consumer discretionary, and bonds sold off hard, multiple sigma moves, while regional banks had a big move up 3%. So they love the higher rate story today. Consumer discretionary, it got sold off today, but it had a huge week. And then SPY, of course, Qs and India, among other indices, traded to new all-time highs before reversing, closing red. This week, in summary, characterized by nat gas, solar, and Bitcoin, all lost 7 to 8%. So, not that nothing went up, but really the momentum this week was to the downside, specifically in those securities. Nat gas, solar, and Bitcoin, if you were short, congrats, especially when the Bitcoin looked like it was making moves last week or so it was. We'll look at the chart. And the first half summary from Jan 1 to today, this is what it's all about, the big shebang, who's winning the season, right? The season cup, if you will. The clear winners, and we'll look at it, is long Bitcoin and semiconductors and short volatility. These are three best absolute trades in the market. And personally, that is why I specifically own Bitcoin, NVIDIA, which is a semi and actually the core alpha deliverer of that. And then short volatility. And that's why I credit and have a short light component with my spread. So without further ado, let's get into all of this. First off, hold on, let me do a little intraday first. Uno momento, por favor. That's me. Great beach day today. Great beach day. Got that memory out of my head from yesterday's psychosis. Man, I'm not ageist or anything, but if you're 80 years old, I don't want you to run a Walgreens. I don't want you to watch my kid for an hour. I don't want you to run the presidency. I want you to retire. That's the only thing that you can do. And that's not being mean. You had a good run, and that's that. Either way, 80-year-old, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so intraday chart. This is where peak euphoria, if you will, in the market peaked at 10 a.m. We actually hit 550 and change, and then we started selling off. We actually hit a low here in the 3:30 hour. Nothing horrendous, but you did hit a low of about 543, and then we struggled to get back to VWAP by the close. We couldn't do it. All that being said, I thought we were going to have a mini regime of weakness through July 5th or so, taking us to around the 537 level, I believe I was saying. Still see that in cards. However, I was seeing VXX and a couple other indices recording volatility, and some other assets that were making continually 52-week lows, and XLC was making new 52-week highs, and I just said, this market's going higher, and it did today. It gave back, but the momentum is there. I truthfully think by July 5th, the next buy opportunity you're going to have, it sounds crazy, it might be 539, probably maybe 532 at best. So I wouldn't try and scalp and try and get in and out of this market. So this is the intraday chart. If we zoom out, as I said, I should have said the commentary there. So I think you're probably going to get a move to maybe 539 at best. At worst, closer to this 532, which is 12 points or 6 times today's move. So about 2.5% of a garden variety sell-off. That's if you get it. I mean, you had two 80-year-old wackos go at it, and like other countries laughing, and we closed down marginally. So after striking new all-time high. So get the whole political thing out of your head. This country is obviously working. Things aren't maybe going in the best direction, but things are functioning, and 401ks have never been higher. Okay, next. All right, so let's get into some of the charts today. So why are we looking at regional banks? Regional banks had a multiple sigma move up today, up a hearty 3%. Let's see if there's a setup. I haven't played this area in a little bit. I think because we looked at this and it's just dead money. Ugh, that's exactly what it looks like. This is just tethered to this $47 range. It hit its head here at 49. I think we even said 2 weeks ago it would probably bounce to around this 49 level before it wants to revisit around 47. So that's the next move. I think it's going to give this back. So that's all. One of the more interesting, so that was the only thing that was up today. So not a lot of strength, just regional banks. And it was just having that last bit of a surge up, in my opinion. Stuff that's moving down now. There's a couple of multiple sigma movers. Very interesting. This one, TAN again. This one had a big move lower, 4.5%. We were talking about this yesterday, and we said, so let's see, is it going to stabilize, or does it want to go lower and try and eke towards this 39? And look what happened, $2 out from 42 to 40. So pretty much exactly what we thought. Pretty interesting movement there. Now what? I think it's at support. It'll stabilize right around here. This is what I called for earlier in the other more bearish scenario of this. So right around 40.30 is what I had for a mark. So right around here, it'll probably stabilize before trying to make a gasp towards 44. That would be a monster run, but I would wait before you have the backdrop of a more bullish marketplace, even more than you have right now. All right, consumer discretionary down hard today, 1%, but that's a multiple sigma move considering how strong it's been. You got Amazon and Tesla really helping that. Amazon hitting 52-week highs. This, it's funny, we were looking at this and saying, does it want to take out its 52-week high? I said I didn't think, I said I didn't think it was going to, because Tesla's kind of keeping a lid on it unless you get that kind of before. But it's 185.29. It got to Kembade kind of right there. And then you have, I guess it's technically, I was going to say it's a bearish engulfing if it swallows up the entire previous day's candle, but it's not quite that. Yeah, this looks like, I think it goes a little bit lower further, but down to just about 180. So another $2 or a 1% move lower. That seems like it makes sense. Let's look at bonds, which commanded a lot of the attention today. A big rise in yields. So let's see what happens. So it's working this off here. Had quite a moment of strength here, holding out at this $94 range, and now it's hitting more significant levels. I think it's got written on it, visit to 90. It looks like it wants to go here. I think it gets there over the next 1 to 2 weeks. You have that rise in rates correlated with this, which would also mean probably a little bit of a lid on the market. Makes sense. All right, uranium, big down move today, down 2%. That was a multiple sigma move even for it, a volatile asset. Let's see, this thing peaked back here May 20th. Yeah, this is probably not a horrendous buy. It's a little bit risky. I'd rather have a more, like I said, a more positive backdrop of the market. I do like the rise in 200-day moving average, which it's held going back all the way to the last Independence Day week. So here has a little bit of a fear, a little bit of a scare. This is a very important line, this 200-day moving average of 28.80. This got close to it today with this 2% plunge. I think you get a mean reversion bounce to 30, which would be a nice percentage move, and then it kind of would, I think it probably wants to make a thrust towards 31. So interesting one here. There's more volatility in this one. I feel like a weatherman. More volatility on this one. Get your umbrellas. My weatherman obviously has a lisp. All right, so here's EWZ. Down 1.5% today. This thing cannot, I hate when people say can't get out of its own way, but this needs to stabilize and really try and move higher. I thought this was going to be in a accumulation mode now that it worked off those lows and it's behind it, but I thought it would get to 28.30. It couldn't quite do that. It's this 21-day moving average is where I get that number from, and also kind of a confluence of other averages, middle Bollinger Band levels, averages, etc., Fibonacci retracements on different time frames. Probably don't hear people say Fibonacci retracements on different time frames and then go. My dog's ears shake every time. All right, back to the tech analysis, the TNA, as the I guess the girls like to call it. Yeah, I think this wants to maybe have another thrust at 28, but and then it's probably gonna go lower towards these levels. It's tough times ahead for Brazil, very tough. And I think this was also so Brazil. We didn't include it as the fourth biggest losing trade of 2024, the first half. I place a lot of emphasis on that time frame from January 1 to today. So Brazil, not a great place to be down 20% on the year. All right, do we have any more for the day that we're down big? No. Really fast, because I don't want to get too much into this. No repeats anyhow. So top 5 gainers of the past 5 days, shorter time frame, because I do want to focus more on the year stuff. So the first leader, and there's a lot of it was because of today, was regional banks. Regional banks up 3.7% in the past week. So leading there. Number 2 is Japan, up 3% for the past week. Let me see this chart. So a gainer here. This is interesting. Yeah, the problem is, so I had quite a run here. Look at that. I mean, it's a superstar, even though it made its highs 3 months ago. It's been slowing and having less momentum, but range bound, still rising 200-day moving average. Got very close to that on June 21st or last Friday. And then it sprang right back off 65 to 68. Now what? Oh, I feel like I'm yelling. The air conditioner just turned down, so now I don't have to shout. All that being said, looks like it wants to visit 69, maybe 70, and then I think it's going to resume back around these levels. But Japan starting to get momentum here this week. All right, third best investment this week, third best trade, tech, the broad tech sector up 2.5%. Always good for markets. Let's see. Although most moves this week were to the downside, you'll see what I mean. IGV, yeah, this looks like a gasp. This kind of looks like what we got back, like this May 20th period. Right here, we got a little frothy above the bands. Usually, this means we're going to come down. So this is up 2.5% this week to a little bit overdone levels, not quite overbought with a 69 RSI, but I have other charts and lines on this that has 85 for a roof, for a ceiling. So this should probably try and make a move towards 83, 84. So I would expect some give back and consolidation in the broader tech market. All right, India, the fourth best long this week, and it also hit a new all-time high today with our markets. Boopity bop. Now what? I mean, obviously, when you see all-time highs, the relative strength breakouts, all green skies ahead, right? But let's see. This, yeah, looks obviously gray. I would look for an entry, but I think this is going to try and make a move towards 54.5 over the next 2 weeks or so, and that would be your entry. And I'm looking at 21-day exponential moving averages, in addition to about 1 month lows for where a natural place where this runner would take a breath. And then energy, the fifth leading or winning trade in the past week, up 1.5% in this past week. Let's see. There's been a lot of talk of energy this week. Yep. So nice search here. This actually did clip its 200-day moving average. You got 2 chances there on the 14th, 17th. Kind of rare that happens, that you get 2 chances, but this is more of a fledgling name after hitting its highs April 12th. Yeah, this looks like it wants to hit its head at 92. I think it'll probably try and do that. It's got some momentum, even today in the face of a negative market. I think this has maybe another move towards 92, another dollar or 1% higher. And then this will probably mean revert around 91. All right. Top 5 losers the past 5 days. No repeats. Nat Gas, the biggest loser. And this is actually the biggest trade of the week. The biggest mover of this week. Down 8%. Now what? Let us see. So let's zoom in because this thing is a piece of crapola. So yeah, this has a little bit, I think, to move lower. You see it down a big 3% today. This looks like it wants to go to around 1685 or so. I think it has that momentum here. What just a beautiful chart. Got to Kembate here, denied, and all the way back to its VWAP or 21-day moving average here. And then what happens right after? About a week or 2 later, right back to the 200-day moving average. And then what now? Even more weakness because it goes below its 21-day exponential moving average to its lower band. We'll see how much the rubber band springs. I think you rarely get things in threes, but if this makes a move again towards a moving lower 200-day moving average to 2010, I think you have to short it and then have the 21-day exponential moving average as your target. And that's how it's structured, that spread. Okay, TAN, we already did that chart. TAN is the second biggest loser this week, down 7%. Yikes. Let's do BITO. BITO, a big one for a couple of reasons in this recap, because it's the best trade of the year through the GBTC. But today, It is for this week, it's the third biggest loser, 6.5%. What gives and what now? So let's zoom. Here is a 1-year chart. Look at that. Superstar, you got a chance not only on the 24th that it went underneath, it also is there now. So 2269, it's under it by 18 cents. That's extraordinary. This has obviously had waning momentum of 3.5 months after striking highs back then. I usually buy these, especially where this is picking up momentum. The 200-day moving average is still rising. I think it's worth a chance. There's also, I'm looking at other charts. It could have a volatile weekend, but there's decent support. I know it's clipped it, but there's good support at this level around 22.25. I'm not saying it's a brick wall. It's Bitcoin, but I think this could have a easy. I don't want to say easy, but this could go to 24.5 very quickly, and that's a $2. I would almost try and frame that with when the markets move up together in mid-July. I could see that trying to get its run towards the 70K mark again for Bitcoin. But Bitto, yeah, not the momentum this week. The third biggest loser this week. ARKG, the fourth biggest loser. I am enjoying this because I am in my puts spread for this, and that's how I'm, hedging in parts. So now what? Yeah, I don't think this goes much further. I have support on this at right around $23. So I'm maybe a little bit lower, but I think these lows hold, and then it mean reverts to 24.85 or so. And all that means is I will still stay in my puts, the July expiration. I'll just roll different delta, put spreads against it. So happy to be in that one as a short. And ARKG is also one of the best losing trades, best shorts of the entire year. And then last one, the fifth biggest loser of this week is KWeb, or Chinese Internet, down 4.5% this week, so a little bit worse than the ARKG. Let's take a look at what's going on here. This has been more positive as of late. Look at that. As I said, you typically want to take chances at the 200-day moving average. This thing is kind of a brick wall at 27.02. It's 200-day moving average. Where did it close? At its 200-day moving average. I think you can scoop this up here. You got to be patient, but this looks like it's worth the risk. Don't love that it's like entering oversold for the first time since January. Kind of loser behavior. That's when it had its new 52-week lows. I don't see this making, the RSI is not, the price isn't confirming that. So I think this should, try and have a springboard to 28.5 or $1.50. So we'll see. The KWeb, the fifth biggest loser this week. Okay, let's get into the top three gainers of the entire first half of the year. Very exciting. It's like watching a birth. All right, so GBTC is your winner. This is the best trade of the year. So if you did this on New Year's Eve in your account till today, you have the absolute best ETF trade in the entire market. This is a great one, rising 200-day moving average. So you notice Bitto, because of the way it's structured with the futures series that it invests in daily, I believe, that it actually clipped its 200-day moving average. This did not. GBTC, which is a different investment structure of the fund. This is a 200-day moving average, still rising and not even close, all right? That actual dollar level is 43. We are trading 53. So now what? Yeah, like I said, I think this can have I don't want to say easy pop. This can get this 59 relatively quick. All that being said, so we're talking about the year, right? So we are going to go to why is it, we're being discussing here. Well, it closed December 29th at 35, and it's trading today at 53. That is the best trade of the year, up 55%. So congratulations. The second best trade of the year, long or short, we're including them all, is semiconductors. And we're not going to go really deep in the chart here, but why are we talking about it? December 29th, it closed at 175, and today it's trading at 260. That is a gain of 49%, just a tack behind GBTC, and that is your second biggest gainer of the year. All right. And then I'm going to go in your third best long. Those are the two best longs in the market. They're also your two best trades overall. The third best long in the market is, and you're going to sense a correlation, growth. All right. So why are we talking about it? And these trends are not going to fade, in my opinion. So Bitcoin, with it trading near its 200-day moving average in some ETFs, I think you want to buy that. Semis, you want to buy pullbacks. Growth, you want to buy pullbacks. Why are we talking about it? Closed $75 on December 29th, and now it's trading $93 essentially, with very, very low vol and very minimal get back, minus a scare you had right around April. So just extraordinary, and a new all-time high today for this specific asset. So don't sway away from Bitcoin, semiconductors, and growth. If you don't have positions in there, I would allocate. I think you're going to see chasing in this. It doesn't not going to matter who gets elected in November. They're still going to be trading up Bitcoin, semiconductors, and growth. All right, so now to the three losers of the first half of the year, and pretty extraordinary. VXX, we're just going to show you exactly why. So this the opposite way. So this closed December 29th at 15.5, and it's trading 1090. So that's quite a loss. That is a loss of 30%. VXX actually hit a new 52-week low today. So growth, new all-time high today. VXX, new 52-week low today. My 3-year-old son could follow this along, which way the trends and momentum is going to continue. All that being said, he put a seashell, I think, in his mouth at the beach today. So, all right. And the second biggest loser, I'm really glad, and this is the reason why I'm in this, because of the downward momentum, is ARKG. Why are we talking about it? Because it closed the year last year at 33, and it's trading 23. That is quite a loss. That is a 29% loss. And I believe the momentum continues. And then TAN, believe it or not, very interesting. TAN, the third biggest loser of the entire year. And this one is just starting to cave like now. It'll be very interesting to see if it really everything breaks and it goes significantly lower, to like 33 or something. I don't think it does, but it'd be interesting due to the momentum it has. Why are we talking about it? It closed here $53. I was actually short this at the end of last year. It closed at $53 last year, and now we're trading 40. That is a loss of a quarter of the fund, or 25%. So pretty wild. So those are your trades of the year. So best three absolute: long Bitcoin, long semis, short volatility. Those are your trades of the entire year so far. If you're in those, congratulations. All right, go get outside, enjoy your weather, and we will see you next time. It is July next week, July 4th. All that. Enjoy. Rock on.